Okay, in a situation like this where the gas cap has the top missing, most likely if rain came, even if it's on a little angle like that, most likely the rain was going in there. If it was outside, I don't know. So because we don't know, and because we know the fuel hasn't been used in many years, I've got this little pump. I'm going to pump out every bit of gas I can get out of there, and or whatever is in there. Water. See if it can get any. These can't pump all the way down, but I see just a little fluid in there. I'm just trying to get it. Nope. Won't do it. So there's very little in there, but if it's water, we want to get that out of there as soon as possible. So I got to try with something else. So I tried the fluid extractor for oil. There's just very little in the bottom of that tank, but I got to get it out of there because I don't know what that is. And if it's water, the second that gets up in the carburetor, it ain't going to do us any good at all. So I'm going to see if we can get some of that, see if it's hitting the bottom at all. Oh yeah, we're getting some of it. Good. So I'll just do that a couple times, dip this in there. Okay, I've got about as much fuel out of there as I can get with the paper towels. I'm just going to leave the cap off and let the rest evaporate out. It did smell like gas, so old gas though, very old. So I'm going up here, and where I like to start is just see if the engine runs. So I got the took the air cleaner assembly off, the air cleaner out. I noticed the breather isn't quite snapped in all the way there, so if I find oil under there later, it's probably because that wasn't all the way snapped in. So I'm just going to put some put a jumper pack on it and a little carb cleaner, spray some in the intake, and just see if it'll fire off as is, or what all is here and what isn't. Alright, give this a little spray. Let's get the stuff off the seat here so I can push on the brake if I need to or whatever. Just getting a click at the starter. Got a neutral switch. Okay. Let's see what else we got. I hear the starter trying. The solenoid's clicking anyway. Let's see. Positive cable runs down here. Goes down there. It is attached. Okay. So I'm going to try just rapping on the starter a couple times and see if it may be just stuck. Still about the same. Try to get in here on the solenoid. Probably the contacts are rusty from sitting. Change pitch a little bit. Did that help? Alright, that ain't working. Okay, I've got power to the starter solenoid. I'm going to check now after the starter solenoid. I've got power to the starter now, and I'm going to check power after the starter solenoid. So we've got 12 volts hot going to it. Let me check my ground up here. I've got a half a volt going to run that starter, even less. 0.6 volt, 0.5 volts, going to run the starter motor. So there's something wrong in the solenoid itself. Most likely corrosion, because I do hear it activating. You can hear it pulling in, but it's just not connecting. So I'll have to see what I can do about that. Okay, I just had the camera off. I was tapping in here while holding the switch. That's the actual solenoid, and I did get it to turn over for just a second there. So let's give it a little more go-go juice and see if it wants to turn over again. Okay, I've been just trying to tap on that starter, try different ways. Still getting about a half a volt when it doesn't contact, but now I'm getting more contact, so I put some gas in there. I was getting more contact. No, I'm not. So anyway, we got by tapping on that starter solenoid a couple times, I got it to turn over good enough and run for a few seconds. I didn't hear any knocking or anything, so that's good. We'll proceed with other things. I just wanted to make sure that the engine wasn't locked up or that something hadn't happened while it was sitting. Animals getting in there or whatever. We saw signs of a mouse nest over here. That will just make sure we got no problems with the ignition wires and such, and that both plugs are firing. Other than that, that's just a starter video, and we'll continue on this series until we have a complete working tractor.